And welcome back, ASCII here with another guide for Banjo Kazooie. Today's guide is on collecting all of the Jiggies in Gobi's Valley. This level has quite an awesome variety of stuff going on, lots of interior buildings to check out, some of which will not hesitate to kill you. We're going to start the video by doing a quick little half turn there and grabbing that yellow Jinjo. That poor guy is just a few steps away from the exit pad. I'm not really sure why he can't get out on his own, but I guess I won't comment on that any further. Moving on, though, we'll be climbing up here onto this Sphinx. There's a flight pad there. We'll be coming back for that in just a few moments. But first, we'll be going inside the Sphinx. There's going to be a Jinjo and a Jiggy in there. Just going to hop on his nose, jump over onto one of these cacti, and shoot him in the nostrils. You have to hit each side of his nose once. You can kind of do that from one side if you can like barely catch the edge of the opposite nostril. So that's kind of a little shortcut there, but not really a big deal if you don't do it. Anyway, on the inside now, we're going to hop up onto these flying carpets. These things, of course, rise up whenever you feed the little mini Sphinx guys on the interior walls there. Orange Jinjo kind of hidden behind you. If you're not paying attention, you might not even know it's there. So be sure to spin your camera around and grab that before going the rest of the way up. Now this last carpet here stays at the top of its, I guess, range of movement for a very short period of time. So like right when it stops moving, you want to make that jump, because it's going to be going down again before you know it. That right there was a pretty cool trick that someone taught me through the comments of the music note guide on Click Clock Wood. A user by the name of Robert told me about that. If you use a ground pound right next to a ledge and then jump off the ledge before you touch the ground again, Banjo will kind of be in that sort of T-pose position, and it appears that he's like completely invulnerable to fall damage. So kind of a cool little trick. Had no idea about that. Thank you, Robert, wherever you are. Anyway, back on the outside now. Going to use that flight pad. And first off, we are going to be flying through these rings. My notes, I have a notepad in front of me. It says, do Sphinx rings. So we are going to do Sphinx rings. Not really much to this, just fly through them. I'll be using the Beak Bomb ability to be getting around just a little bit faster here. That, of course, is optional, but that does remind me that we will need the Beak Bomb ability in just a few seconds in order to get inside another one of the buildings on this map. If you're doing the levels in order, if you're kind of 100%ing the levels in order, which I almost always do because I'm OCDC, it's like my new garage band name. But yeah, if you're completing the levels in order, you'll likely already have the Beak Bomb ability. If you skipped part of Freeze Easy Peak, you'll need to be going back and getting that before you are able to 100% Gobi's Valley. So with the Sphinx rings done, the Jiggy spawned on top of the big Sphinx, Big Daddy Sphinx. Since we're already airborne, we can just fly up there, grab that, and luckily with that flight pad right there, we'll be able to get right back into the air and hit that target that I was talking about. There it is. As always, when I'm using the Beak Bomb ability, I pretty much get right up into the face of whatever it is that I want to hit. It's just kind of a tricky ability. You can so quickly just fly off in a direction that you weren't really meaning to fly off in. That's kind of an awkward little spot right there. When you open that door up, you pretty much have to fly straight down. So I press the R button, or the R trigger on the controller, which allows me to make tighter turns, and I can usually get facing downward a little bit easier. Anyway, on the inside of the building now, we're going to give this guy a little donation of eggs. Little snake charmer guy. I like to hop on top of the snake's basket before he starts playing his song, because you can actually it's just like an elevator. It'll just take you right up to the top. Now, of course, if you don't do that, you can climb up the snake, as I'm trying to demonstrate here. There you go. So either way, hop up there, get that Jiggy, and then for some reason I use a ground pound off the top of that. I don't know why I did that. Don't do that. If you value your life, don't do that. All right, back on the outside now. What comes up next? Next is going to be Grabba. He's like a mummified hand down here. I think if I recall, I take a dip down there just to show what he looks like. because the rest of it happens kind of fast. Yeah, here we go. So you can try to grab it without any sort of speed enhancements, and of course he's going to be a total jerk and pull that out of our reach right at the last second. Little does he know, we got speed shoes, man. The turbo trainers are over here. Turbo trainers, of course, are unlocked in Gobi's Valley. Unfortunately, we kind of don't go by Bottle's Molehill. This is pretty much as close as we will get. You will need these for this Jiggy, so he's around this area. So if you need to unlock those, search this area. That's my advice for you. Look around this part. Anyway, though, that's how you get that Jiggy. Just grab those turbo trainers and run at him, and just kind of jump at the last second. It might take a try or two, but it always looks like he's going to get away. Because like it's almost like the Jiggy wraps around, his hand wraps around the Jiggy, and you think to yourself, oh, it's too late, I won't be able to get it. But it's almost like you kind of reach through his hand. It doesn't really matter where he is in that animation. You just kind of have to, I guess, touch the enemy or whatever before he goes underground. Anyway, enough about that. We're going to grab the turbo trainers again and then run over here. This is kind of a frantic little spot here. You got to come over here and you got to step on that switch. That's not a switch that you have to use the ground pound on. You just kind of have to stand on it, interestingly enough. And then you get to run up here as quickly as you can. You'll see me kind of cut corners when you go up those ramps. I think that does help. That might shave off a little bit of time. Because even with all of that, with some pretty, in my opinion, some pretty good movement there, I only had a second left. So now that we're inside, all we got to do in here is grab this Jiggy. That's literally this entire building is just grab the Jiggy and you're done. Those mummies are probably quite relieved to not be underwater anymore. Eternally drowning. It's probably not the best form of afterlife. And of course, by draining this building, we will have filled the moat up out here, which will make getting a Jinjo a lot easier. We'll be taking a look at that in a little bit. First, however, we need to save Gobi. Dude's tied up to a rock over here. That sucks, man. Gonna hop over here. And of course, there is this flying carpet, which I'm pretty sure is going to give me absolutely no help this time. Luckily, I had some gold feathers. Minimize some damage there. And with that, Gobi is free to move about the level. We'll be seeing him at least one more time. If you're getting the extra honeycomb pieces, you'll see him twice more. That was Jiggy number 6. As I try to locate the flying carpet. And I could swear I just fell right through the middle of that thing. Like I said, magic carpet giving us no help this time. That's fine. We don't need it. We'll just eat some damage. It's good. Green Jinjo, pretty well hidden right there, I think. Probably your best clue is to hear him. Having said that, I'm pretty sure when I was first playing this game, I never really got used to listening for Jinjos. You hear that whistle, you think it's probably a pretty good indicator of, hey, I need to look around a bit, but I never did that. I was just unaware. So young. Anyway, gonna be doing a little memory game here. Get to flip these over and match the pieces. Kind of fun. And by fun, I mean you're gonna watch me struggle with it, because I kind of have a rough game this time. I'm gonna go ahead and skip over that. I usually don't like doing that. I like everybody to be able to see exactly what's going on, what I'm doing in the route, but I'm assuming you get the idea. That was really just like a minute of me flipping tiles over, so I'm just going to skip through it. Anyway, that's going to be Jiggy number 7 for us on Gobi's Valley. And we're going to be heading back outside. This is kind of where having the moat filled is going to help us out. We're immediately going to hop into the water here and get the blue Jinjo, which is actually underneath the bridge. I mean, even if you don't know where it is, if you just like swim around the inside wall of this moat, you'll eventually find it. But as a shortcut, if you just go to where the bridge is and look immediately underneath the bridge, that's where he is. After that, we're gonna hop back up here and jump on these little columns and feed these Sphinx guys. You don't have to have the moat filled for this. It's nice if you go for that jump, because the columns actually get smaller. Like that, the one we're standing on right now is the biggest one. and they actually get smaller as you go, ratcheting up the challenge, I guess. But yeah, if you don't have the moat filled, you can still do this. It's just if you try to jump on that column and miss, then you're going to fall all the way down. And in that case, there's going to be boiling sand down there, which is never fun. I try to avoid boiling sand whenever I can. Pro tip, pro life tip there for you. All right, that was the second one. There's 3 total. So we'll go ahead and finish this off. And all this, of course, is going to unlock the giant maze building in the center of the map. If you're unaware, this one has a timer involved with it. You got to get through the maze within a certain amount of time. If you don't, you die instantly. This is pretty stressful for when you're doing the music notes. There are no music notes in the maze itself, so you kind of just have to get through it. But there are music notes at the end of the maze, so you do have to go through it. And if you were to screw up in this maze and get lost a bunch of times, you'd have to screw up pretty bad. A minute's a long time to go through this maze. No offense to anyone who does struggle with it. Of course, I don't mean that. But yeah, if you were to lose in the maze with, you know, who knows how many music notes, you'd have to start the whole run over, which is never fun. So there you go. And there's those music notes. I know this isn't the music note guide, but that's just what I was talking about. But that is what we are here for, Jiggies. And we're actually going to get another Jiggy right here in the same room. The last Jinjo, the pink Jinjo, is hanging out there inside that urn. Don't forget to grab that guy before leaving. I have most certainly been there. That sucks. Because then you have to go back through the maze again. You get to relive that terror. Anyway, that was Jiggy number 9. We're actually pretty much done here. We're going to be making our way back towards the exit pad of the level. And the final Jiggy will actually be there. Now, this is sort of a unique Jiggy in that you have to get another Jiggy before you can get this Jiggy. There's just not a whole lot of those in this game. But yeah, Gobi here, you have to go destroy his rock. And I believe you actually have to pick up the Jiggy, too. You can't just destroy the rock and then just walk over here. I'm pretty sure he isn't here yet. I said that with a lot of confidence. I'd have to go check that, but I'm pretty sure that's how that works. Maybe I'll go load up a save state real quick before I publish this and make sure I'm not just lying through my teeth. Anyway, though, congratulations. That's all 10 Jiggies on Gobi's Valley. Way to go. That wasn't so bad. Oh yeah, I come over here and I do this silly thing. By the way, if you didn't know, you can kill the bees with gold feathers. If you didn't know that, now you know. But I'll sometimes, whenever I see them, I'll try to kill all of them but one, and you just leave like a single bee. I don't know why I like to do that, but I screwed it up that time. And then I come over here and I grab another gold feather, and I'm like, there's still a chance. The dream is still alive. Get him. And then I just killed every single one. Stupid. Anyway, that's going to do it for our Jiggy guide on Gobi's Valley. Thank you so much for watching. Coming up next, this time for real, it's going to be Mad Monster Mansion. I keep messing up the order of levels in my outros. Don't worry about that, though. Anyway, stay tuned for it, and I'll see you in the next video.